What do you know about Austin right now? Is there any diagnosis right now?
Not right now, not yet.
Steve, obviously a tough night for you guys overall, but is it about you guys just shooting yourself in the
God,
foot and
yeah, it
turnovers?
was extremely frustrating. You know, the turnovers early, giving them a short field, that team. We blow 2 coverages that were day one installed. And that part's so frustrating to me for our kids, you know, because we really felt like we could come in and play with them. And we felt like we had a good plan offensively. We had a hard time tackling the quarterback when he got out of the pocket. That made things difficult for us. But I'm just frustrated because I don't think the score is indicative. Excuse me, sorry about that. I don't think the score is indicative of their football team as compared to ours. Man, that part's really frustrating to me.
How concerned are you about where Keith is at as a player right now, the production you're getting from him?
Well, I think that, you know, he'll be okay. If there's a position I feel like I can get a guy to play at a high level and to get right, that's the one. And so we'll get him okay. He's a really competitive kid. He wants to do really well. We'll get him right.
Can you talk about Bishop saying he had another strong performance tonight, seeing his progression? What did you see out of him tonight?
Thought he ran hard. I thought our offensive line played very well tonight. But Bishop is really progressing as a young running back for us.
With Keith, is it rhythm? Is he worried about the line? Is he trying to do too much?
I don't know. Maybe it's all that. You know, that's the part that we have to get together with him on, and so that he feels not that he feels comfortable, that he feels confident in his and our ability to go play football, and we'll get that done.
Steve, you had 3 personal fouls in the third quarter.
Frustration. And, you know, guys are battling. They were kind of going both ways. It got a little chippy. You know, a couple calls didn't go our way. You know, that frustration kicks in. We got to be better than that. We got to keep our composure better than that.
When you guys were down 21-0 in the first quarter, did you have to alter any part of your game plan at that point?
Well, we really tried not to panic. You know, we tried to stick to the plan. We got a good drive in there to get it to 21-7, and it got sideways on us fast.
You seem like you're maybe trying to do a little bit more smash mouth with the running game, a little bit more emphasis on it than in the past. Is that?
Yeah, and I think we're just trying to play to our strengths with our offensive line, with our tight ends, with our backs. And I thought it was effective again tonight. Unfortunately, with the turnovers, the score got to a point to where it got out of hand. But I thought we had a good plan, running the ball, and I thought we were effective doing it tonight.
Can you talk about Corey Littleton and the decision to start him tonight?
Yeah, Corey's been coming along fast, and we're trying to get longer and faster. And he's another guy that fits that mold. He's got a very bright future for us.
Steve, what about Marvin Hall? Just the game he had overall.
Well, you know, young guy, you know, and you know, he'll be okay. You know, you all want to catch them all, but they're learning experiences for him. That's why we put him right back out there after the fumble punt and got the kickoff return. So he'll grow, just like Jadon, just like Kendall, and those guys will grow. They'll keep getting better.
Steve, were you encouraged by the fact that when you guys were able to execute, that you were able to move the ball pretty effectively?
I was very encouraged. You know, I think that's why I'm so frustrated right now with you guys, because I felt like we had a good plan. I felt like we played, you know, probably one of our better games up front from an offensive line standpoint. I thought we ran the football well. We didn't play catch good enough tonight offensively. A couple drops, obviously, a glaring one there down near the goal line, and a couple other ones. A couple missed throws, a couple missed reads. So we've got to try to clean up this passing game to start to marry up with the running game.
How big of a loss was Austin in the second half?
You know, he's lost because he's such a talented guy, but I thought Michael Harvickson did a nice job. Got in the game, got some good playing time for himself.
How much can you say that was because of the scoring at SC next week, and was there anything to ASJ preservation-wise, or was he not able to go at all?
Well, I just watched when we came out. He just didn't look like he was in the best physical condition to go play. You know, we were competing. You know, you come here and you try to win the game, and obviously we'll be going for it on the 4th down on our own end, and you know, a call that I was hoping. I thought our forward progress had stopped when we fumbled, similar to theirs, but we didn't get the call.
You worried at all about the team's psyche after a game like this?
I'm not worried. We had a nice talk in there, one that I think we got to the root of some of our issues. We'll get to more of those tomorrow. this is a competitive team, you know, and that they have a lot of fight in them. I was pleased with their ability to come out in the second half and battle and compete. You know, the third quarter, we did a nice job defensively. We got a touchdown, so we battled and we competed. I just wish, and I feel like I'm redundant in some of these, I just wish the game hadn't gotten away from us so early, because I really believe the score is not indicative of the two teams. But they got us, you know, and that's the way it is. That's football, and you have to do all the little things right, or it can go this way.
Why do you think it got away from you so fast? Was it like
We dropped a
Watson's
punt
buzz?
and gave them the ball on our own end. We threw an interception for a touchdown. We blew 2 coverages. I mean, it happens that fast.
What exactly happened with Watson?
We just
And then
lack
Quan.
of communication with Sean and Trey. And when you don't communicate, that's what happens.
Can you talk about Shaq Thompson's game? I know you had his first interception and you had some pretty good tackles. Can you just talk about how he's
I
going?
thought in general our team, and I thought Shaq was one of those guys that started. I thought we played physical. I know sometimes you look at the score, well, that couldn't have happened. I thought we played physical. I thought Shaq had a physical presence in the game, tackled well, hit well. He's just still growing, you know, which is so cool for us. You know, he's a young player. He's 5 games into his college career, but I think we're just slowly starting to see some of the playmaking ability that he has.
Do you feel like defensively this is still a game you can grow from?
Oh yeah, you know, that's a good offensive team. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a lot of speed on the field, and I thought the biggest thing that was glaring was trying to contain the quarterback. You know, he's so fast, and so it's just going to be an ongoing issue for us. Our pass rush, our ability to create the pass rush, and then our ability to get the quarterback down when we're there. We're just not doing a great job of that right now, and so we got to keep working at it.
Does it make it any more painful that it's Oregon, or is that just not a factor?
Nah, man, shoot, we're freaking 1-1 in conference play, and we wanted to be 2-0, you know, and we get another big dog coming to town next week. You know, here comes SC, so, you know, we don't have time to sit around and with our head down with the woe is me mentality. We got to get back on the horse, and we got to get ready to fight.
Are there any positives you can take from this game, maybe that you haven't hit on yet, or that you already have? Anything you can carry over and say, yes, this was great?
No, I think we touched on everything. You know, again, I was pleased with the running game. I was pleased with the way our guys responded in the second half. You know, they showed some grit and fight, which I've always thought this team had. They have that. It's good to see our young players continue to develop against a good football team in a tough environment. But, you know, the score is a score, and that's the end result. You know, there's one major stat that matters in football, and that's if you won or lost, and we lost this one.
And Shelton tonight?
Hard to tell, you know, hard to tell. You know, I don't know until I look at the film, you know, exactly.
But you switched him out to start the second half, right?
Well, we were rotating guys, you know.
And the pick six, it's just a guy jumping around, or?
Poor Reed, and Keith he'll tell you the same thing, you know. So, but that's part of the game, you know. That's part of the game. Against this type of a team and this environment on the road, those are hard to overcome when they start to add up.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.